mystery death of a young man in Baltimore police custody. The autopsy on this 25-year-old is now complete. The names of the officers involved in his arrest released. But more information has not led, though, to any more clarity as far as how this 25-year-old suspect, Freddie Gray, broke his neck after Baltimore police arrested him. This is back on April 12th. He died a week later. Now, as we mentioned a second ago, the department has suspended these 6 officers with pay. They've released their names, their ages, how long they've been on the force. But officials didn't specify on the reasons why. However, the mayor of Baltimore did tell CNN this.
We know that he asked for medical attention. We know that that medical attention was not immediately requested for him. We know that was a mistake.
That conclusion based on the fact that Gray asked for medical help more than once while being transported in a van. In fact, city and police officials revealed Gray requested his inhaler, his asthma inhaler, at the same time officers called for the van. They also disclosed that Gray was put in leg restraints, but officials say they do not know how or when Gray's spinal cord was severed. And what's more, Gray's autopsy revealed his spinal injury was the only trauma to his body.
There was no physical bodily injury that we saw, nor was it evident in the autopsy of Mr. Gray. None of his limbs were broken.
CNN has affiliate WJZ has obtained amateur video that provides a new, closer angle to Gray's arrest. Warning, the video is tough to watch.
Shorty, that was after they tased out of him like that. Man, I've been recording. I've been recording it. I've been recording it. What car they come out of, yo?
He on a bike, yo, right there. Him right there. He on a bike.
I got it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, yo.
Get his badge, number his chump badge.
After they did tase yo like that, you wonder why he can't use his legs.
Hey guys, it's yours truly, Kevin Grace. I would be remiss of not weighing in on some of the images that you saw from my hometown of Baltimore. Fortunately or unfortunately, I was not there this weekend. I was down in New Orleans for the Jazz Festival. But the stuff that I saw just pained my heart to see that. Unfortunately, I blame CNN, Fox, and some of these other media outlets that fan the flame of hate, and they show one side of a situation, things that make their ratings go up. We know for a fact it was only a small amount of protesters that caused the shenanigans that you saw. They didn't show the peaceful protesters. They showed the people burning the flags or smashing some of the businesses downtown, or the ones having the confrontations at Camden Yards, at Oriole Park, where the Baltimore Orioles play. But they didn't show the peaceful protesters. You know, my city, Baltimore, Maryland, whether it be that you call it Baltimore, Murderland, or Harm City instead of Charm City, it is bad. And I hold some of the officials to a higher standard. The city is taxed very high, and we're not getting the services that we pay for. There's money coming through that city with the slot machines and everything else, but they never have money during the summertime to keep rec centers open for kids to stay out of trouble, or to put some of that money to some summer programs to help kids. And unfortunately, once I get this Joe Gans situation taken care of, for those who don't know, I've been campaigning of promoting the memory of boxer Joe Gans, who was the first Black American champion of any sport. He happened to be the lightweight champion from 1902 to 1908. I'm trying to get a postal stamp for him. also hopefully a featured motion picture movie, and also a bronze statue like they have at Madison Square Garden. Unfortunately, I reached out to boxer Floyd Mayweather, who is fighting this weekend, getting $125 million, I may add. I sent a letter to he and his manager and never got any response if they would like to donate to honor an ancestor such as Joe Gans. I never heard anything. And this guy's got more money than he knows what to do with, if you saw the ESPN special. Anyway, once that's taken care of, I will definitely look into maybe running for some type of political office, whether it be city councilman or mayor or whatever. You need to change the system from the inside. Pick up a book and not a brick. In the words of Dr. King, returning violence for violence multiplies violence, adding deeper darkness to the night already devoid of stars. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Now, these are words that he said years ago, and people still aren't listening to them. And it's so ironic seeing that confrontation down at Camden Yards, Oriole Park. That is the same area where some of the first shots of the Civil War rang out. Demonstrators at that time threw bricks and bottles at the Union soldiers, and they shot into the crowd. So some of the first shots of the Civil War happened right there at Camden Yards area. Thank God nothing like that happened here in Baltimore. You saw the images in St. Louis with the tear gas and everything else, and it was really nasty situation. But I do blame the media for showing the negative images and to sell airtime or whatever it is that they do. So they do have a responsibility in it. And unfortunately, Monday things may even get worse. The funeral for Freddie is going to happen, and again, people are just really upset. Of course, the police are they're suspended, but suspended with pay, and of course, people want them not to be suspended with pay, just suspended and charges brought up. Again, it's just really sad to see that people would destroy the neighborhoods. And for those Einsteins that thought they were getting away with something, I don't know if you know this, but everyone had a camera phone, and there's video surveillance everywhere. They will find you. Even the people of ISIS, the dirty deeds they do, they cover their faces with masks and scarves and sunglasses. But these Einsteins were brazen by what they did. A couple people jumping up on police cars thinking it's a Michael Jackson video. They don't care about us, smashing windows and everything else, but they will find you. And I hope that your punishment is to clean some of those neighborhoods up that have debris dumped everywhere, whether it be sofas and bottles and things that the city should clean up. Maybe you'll learn the value of what you did. But I leave you with the words of one of my favorite musicians, Jimi Hendrix. When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. And peace I give to you tonight. Thank you for watching. Peace.
Hey guys, behind me you see all the different media from local and some people from out of state and even other countries. Right on the other side of this subway station is the CVS building that was burnt, and there's a sign on it that says condemned, so it's going to get torn down. If they're going to come back to rebuild it, I have no idea, or whatever other business that wants to come back to revitalize. But it's very sad to see that. There was a need for pharmacy here, but unfortunately, as they say, I understand your frustrations, but the way you went about it is not the correct solution. Anyway, you have people behind us talking on the microphone. uplifting people, have some ministers, reverends from the local churches talking to folks as well. So it's a lot calmer than what it has been over the past several days. But hopefully Friday something doesn't jump off when they come out with the possibly what the ruling could be if the officers are going to be charged or not for what happened. Peace.
Place in our community, and we are on the side of our young people. We will not be disenfranchised. We will not be divided. We will not be derailed and distracted. They can throw whatever smoke screen they want to throw at us, but we're going to work with everybody. We're going to work with the Crips and the Bloods. We're going to work with the young people. We're going to work with the politicians. We're going to work with the police, those that are on the side of righteousness and justice, and we're going to hold everybody accountable. It's time for all of us that we can rebuild Iraq, we can rebuild Baltimore. If we got money to build stadiums, we got money to build schools. You ain't gonna get elected by telling us that we're gonna use casino money to take care of the schools, and then when we elect you, you forget about us and divert the money. No, we're not going to get this rhetoric and this positive and then not come back and do what you told us to do. It's time to stand up for this community. Stand up for the Freddie Grays. Y'all stop tearing down the stores. You got enough bread and enough Twinkies to last you for a lifetime. Let's come back and rebuild this city for the glory of God and for the benefit of the people. That's Coach, we have anything you want to say? And we want justice right now. We don't want justice tomorrow, next week. We want justice right now. And as Dr. Hickman said, if there are investment resources to rebuild Afghanistan and Iraq, we ought to have resources to rebuild West Baltimore, East Baltimore, Detroit, Chicago, and this entire United States of America. This is an uprising. It's a tipping point. If you leave a pot on a stove too long, then the lid is going to blow off. Freddie Gray was not the first case of police brutality in the city of Baltimore. There were Tyrone West before Freddie Gray, and there were many others. And people all across this city, black, red, yellow, and white, are coming together, Bloods, Crips, Black Guerrilla Mafia, Baptists, Presbyterians, Pentecostals, are coming together, Republicans and Democrats, to say enough is enough. We're tired of this stuff. We want our elected officials to do what they were elected to do, to rebuild our communities. We are not It's about dreams. It's about opportunities. It's about rebuilding our schools and becoming a community of opportunity if we want to turn our city and turn our state around. Many people don't know this, but the ACLU just released a report in which they said 109 Marylanders have died in the last 4 years after encounters with the police. Did you hear what I said? 109 Marylanders have died in the last 4 years after encounters with the police. We must stand up to say enough is enough, and another black man is not going to die after having an encounter with the police. Black lives matter, brown lives matter, white lives matter, and all lives matter. We need to say enough is enough. And lastly, the last thing that I want to say is, as people are holding elected officials accountable in this city, we must hold 17 police accountability bills were presented before the state legislature in this legislative session. 1,000 of us went to Annapolis to present a legislative agenda to Mike Miller and to Michael Bush, the leaders of our General Assembly, and a democratically led state legislature tabled all 17 police accountability bills, despite the voices of many in the state Black caucus. We've got to stand up not just to hold our city officials accountable in this city, But we've got to hold our state officials accountable as well to demand that enough is enough. We are tired of this. We cannot have another Tyrone West, another Freddie Gray. If we can rebuild countries all around the world, we've got to rebuild the city of Baltimore.
I'm on North Avenue in Pennsylvania Avenue. This is right behind me is a CVS pharmacy that you saw on television 2 days ago that was burning and being looted by people. It's a lot different scene today. Schools are open, so kids aren't around, people aren't standing around, but what and who you do see is the media from all over. So a lot of activities going around. Traffic is now able to move freely through the area, but it's sad to see what's happened to my city. Today, the Baltimore Orioles are playing in an empty stadium against the White Sox. The public wasn't allowed, which is kind of crazy. So again, the hotels, concessionary people, the bars, and different businesses around the stadium are suffering. And then this weekend, they're supposed to be playing in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay was supposed to come here to play, and the Orioles be the home team, which again, fans don't even show up for the games in Tampa, which really don't care about. But again, the businesses around Camden Yards Stadium are being affected by that. And of course, the city wants their tax money. They're not going to give any free breaks on it, unfortunately. So it's just a bad situation. But hopefully things get a little bit better. Friday, things may get off the hook again. They're supposed to be coming out with the ruling on the medical autopsy and if there's going to be any possible charges against the police. And if they're not, it may just set things back up again. So again, I guess, like I said, you hope for the best and prepare for the worst. Freddie Gray. He was 25 years old when he passed away. He was no saint, and he did have his run-in with the law. And on April 12th, 2015, changed the history in Baltimore City. It started an uprising. That morning at 8:30, he was arrested. The policemen that were on bicycles said they made eye contact with him, and then that's when he took off running. They gave chase, and then they arrested him. The videotape that you may have seen of him being escorted into the police van, he could hardly walk, and he was standing on one leg. He was not secured and shackled in that video. Ironically, 6 days before that, the Baltimore City Police did institute new rules of how to transport prisoners, that they were supposed to be seat buckled. He was not. Now, what we do know is the van did make 4 different stops, and by the time it got to the Western Police Station, he was unconscious and in a coma. He was then taken to shock trauma and operated on, and he was in a coma for several days and wound up passing away on April the 19th. Now, the media was calling it a rough ride, which means a prisoner being in a police van that may accelerate, they're not secured, and they'll bump around and hit their heads and get hurt. So that was what the narrative was, and people took to the street and they were demanding protests that the police officers be held responsible or arrested or fired or what have you. On his day of his funeral, which was August the 27th, I was out of town in New Orleans for the New Orleans Music Festival, and I started seeing some of the riots that broke up, and it hurt my heart of seeing what I saw unfold. The mayor did institute a curfew from
April the 28th to May the 3rd. And people were still looking for justice. Now, a few weeks later, Prince, on Sunday, May the 10th, performed a peace concert at the Royal Farms Arena. I was blessed to be there. And who would have thought that less than 365 days later, he would be passed away himself. I was sitting in the pit area. I happened to get lucky of getting tickets right next to the stage. He had a worker going around giving out pit passes. So we stood, and he was very cynical about people having cameras and cell phones, but 2 minutes with the concert left to go, he allowed everyone to take out the video camera and take footage, and I do have that, and I've included it in this documentary. So I was definitely blessed to see him, and he was performing with Dougie Fresh. On September the 8th, 2015, Baltimore City settled with the Gray family and gave them a settlement of $6.4 million. This is before any type of lawsuit was put in, and they thought that it was just cheaper to settle ahead of time than go through litigation. The following year, they did have the trial of the officers. The main one they thought was going to be found guilty was Caesar Goodman, the van driver, and he was found not guilty. And he was supposed to be disciplined internally, but the other charges were dropped against the other officers by the prosecutor on July 26th of 2016. So there was no one indicted or brought to justice for what happened to Freddie Gray. But the Obama administration did investigate Baltimore City Police Department, and they noticed that over several years, the Baltimore City Police Department violated citizens' civil rights, and then they started instituting a thing called the consent decree, which holds police a little more responsible in how they'll be dealt with and disciplined. Luckily, we had that situation happen because other cities, such as Minneapolis, they're going through that situation. So it would have been very interesting to see how Prince, if he lived, how he would have been dealing with this George Floyd situation. So a lot of other cities have not gone through what we have gone through. And of course, you saw what happened this summer with the protests for George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. But anyway, Freddie Gray is buried right here, and you can see his head, beautiful headstone. It says, a sensitive friend. Freddie was a sensitive friend who loved the outdoor and the freedom it offered. Because of him, we have learned that nothing is more precious to us than life. Tomorrow is not promised to us, and thus each day should be lived to the fullest. With his fondness for life, he loved people and made those close to him feel that love, to live on in the hearts and minds of those you leave behind is not to have died at all. Lovingly submitted by the family, Freddie Gray, August the 16th, 1989 to April 19th, 2015.
Hey guys, as you can see behind me, I'm in Baltimore at the Royal Farms Arena. Prince just performed. I was able to sneak a little bit of video, but they were very, very adamant that there was no video and pictures taken for the show. But make sure you check out my Facebook page. As you can see behind me is a symbol, the mic stand, but had special guests of Doggy Fresh, Estelle, and also Miguel. So it was definitely a great show. This place was packed, so much energy, you could have woken the dead. So make sure you check out Prince and his group when he comes to maybe your town. Peace.